Hello friends, to the front of you, I have sitting here taking some strategy for rectifying of our English speaking because mostly time many of the speakers start to take very much hobbling. They start to take so much stumbling while speaking. And why is it happening like this in all of us life about for speaking of English, whether about for improving of any sort of the things? About of that matter, just I'm going to have in this video. I'm telling to you, you must watch of this video concept. As far as that video concept that will be given by me, you don't leave in watching. If you will be watching one and once on this video, then really you will get sufficient advantage in your life for improving of your English speaking. You know very well in this modern time many people are very curious for improving of their communication skill, and whenever they start to speak of any kinds of the matter, at that time some of the people, some of the speaker, they feel themselves that the lackness of any confidence, the lackness of words, lackness of grammatical sentences, like this they start to feel while speaking. If like this problem also you are suffering, you are holding, you are wearing, then I am just saying to you, my all my dear friends, you must watch this video which I am going to have to you in this video. About that you must get, and according that if you will follow in your daily life, then you will never run anywhere while speaking. No any kinds of the sentences that will come like being of any hugger mugger, like being of any hegglity. No any sentences will come to being irritant while speaking of any kinds of the matter, because nowadays I am looking whenever any speaker start to speak of any kinds of the matter, just they start to feel some fumbling, they start to feel some muddling, like that matters automatically start to come in most of the minds while speaking. I am telling to you, this is your English language. English language is not of any what vast language, that is not of any difficult language. English language is just like of Hindi or common language, as you are speaking of Hindi. In the same way, also English language that is spoken by many people who is keeping to good confidence, who is keeping to good experience the back for talking of English. For those person, there is not of any little bit problem while talking. But the person who has not fully experienced, and if they want to speak of any kinds of the matter, then they will have to possess some points, which are points I'm just going to share to you. I think whenever you start to speak of any kinds of the matter, at that times you are unable to control of your mind. You are unable to make concentrate of your mind. If you are unable to make concentrate of your mind, and if you want to speak of any kinds of the matter, then really no anything will be spoken by you very well. If you're wanting to speaking to disposing of different kinds of the sentences, you will have to keep up your mind exactly on that concept, which concept about you have to discuss. If you will keep minds exactly on that concept, then that all kinds of the concept matters that will be spoken by you very well disposing. And if you will keep the minds in any other places, and if you're wanting to talk about of these matters just on that place, then our mind will not recover of that kinds of the matter for speaking. I am telling to you, when you start to speak of any kinds of the matter, at that time also you will have to think about of that concept exactly in a very fast motion, as fast as you can think of that kinds of the concept. You go to think and you go to expose of that whole kinds of the matter. If you will disclose of that kinds of the matter which you have to speak, then really you will not muddle anywhere while speaking. And if you think exactly in slow motion, then sometime you will feel to yourself that unbalanced, like you will feel unbalanced, like means I will be able to speak or not, like that meter will start to just move in your mind. I am telling to you, if you are thinking slow, then really you will be unbalanced while speaking. And if you will think exactly in fast motion, then all that kinds of the problem, which is your hurdle, which is your what obstacle while speaking, that all obstacle, that all obstruct, that will be cleared, that will be elucidated. I'm just saying to you, please you think exactly in fast motion. As I'm giving of you one example about of cycle. When you were learning for driving of cycle at that time, you may have you may have experienced so different kinds of the things while driving a cycle. When you are not doing driving cycle, at that time, first of all, you may have caught the handle of the cycle. And when you caught of that handle of cycle at that time, first of all, you may have seen without riding of that cycle, you may have seen to driving. After that, when you become fully experienced to driving of that cycle without riding on that seat of cycle, then our minds may have said to you, I would like to drive of these cycles to riding on the seat of that cycle. And second time, you must have ridden on that cycle seat. And when you may have ridden on that cycle seat, at that time any of the peoples may have supported of you in the back career of that cycle. They may have supported to catching up with cycle career means also you may have said to of the back person, you please keep catching up that cycle career, you do not let fall of this cycle because I'm not fully experienced for driving of this cycle. And like this, taking support of anyone's, you may have ridden on the cycle seat and slowly you may have seen to driving of that cycle pedal and some distance you may have gone to driving of that cycle, and when or attention may have gone in the back with that, mean the persons who has out of that cycle career still he is catching or not, and when you may not have found of that person in the back side, then really you may have been unbalanced while driving of that cycle and you may have been fallen down. It is very perfect matters. If you are wanting to drive of any kinds of the things, if you are wanting to speak of any kinds of the matter, first of all you will have to take to help through of anyone. You take the help through of any English video, you learn different kinds of the words, words, sentences, and more any other kinds of the point which is required for speaking. If you will take the support of the all kinds of the matters, then really you will not feel any difficult while speaking. And sometimes also you all student and you all friends will have to care when you may have been very experienced while driving of that cycle. Then as your minds may be telling means I have to drive slow, fast, whether in mid gate according that cycle, it is driven by anyone's driver, anyone's rider. Just like that, there is coming up for English speaking. If you will want to speak of any kinds of the matter in slow motion, then for some time you will feel hesitation. And if you want to speak of any kinds of the matters exactly in fast motion, then you will have to think of also of that all kinds of the matter in fast motion. That all kinds of the hurdle will be passed away, that will be crossed away. Because in fast, if you go, then really all those kinds of the difficult that is made to very easiest. I am just saying to you, you do not keep up any hesitation, you do not keep up any what intrication inside of the mind. If you are keeping up any complications inside of the mind while speaking, then really you will not be able to overcome from that kinds of the problem. So I'm just saying to you, please you think all those kinds of the matter exactly in fast motion. As fast as you can think about of any kinds of the topics, else as far as you can speak of that all kinds of the topic, else about of that topic you keep on speaking one and one, and from that you can get very great experience, you can get very great attainment. One thing more there is coming which is very requirement for you. When you start to speak of any kinds of the matter, at that moment you do not keep up your minds exactly in the left, in the right way, also in the front way, actually also in the back way. Our mind should be exactly on those topic, which topic about just you have to discuss just the front of anyone is about of that topic only. You think continually, you will be able to speak. And if you will not care about that kinds of the matter, then really in whole life, this kinds of the obstacling, this kinds of the hobbling, that will be coming, and you will feel some dearth of speaking parts. Because I have experienced such kinds of the matter, such kinds of the situation in my life. Because when I was unable to talk to any kinds of the matter, at that time only I kept on thinking that how to improve my English speaking. Such kinds of the matter also that was going in my mind. At that time I was searching different kinds of the way to improve of my English speaking. And day to day I started to improve of my word power, my thinking, and all those kinds of the grammatical points which is very mandatory for our speaking parts. That all kinds of the things I collected well, and day to day I started to practice for talking, and now I am not feeling of any hesitation while speaking. If you have problem for taking up any word pronunciation, which word that is very long, and about of that word pronunciation that is very commodious, that is very ponderous, then you repeat of that word pronunciation many times, and you make to easiest for telling of that word pronunciation, then that word pronunciation also that will be very easiest if you repeat many times of any bonus words pronunciation. Then and if you'll not ponder, if you'll not dream about of that glorious word pronunciation, then that is not to be easiest by you, whether by more any other person else. Which I have said to you, which I have shared throughout this video. If you all my friends may have understood, then really it will be very beneficial for you. And like this concept, I shall be giving of you in my each video. And now I am going to tell to you, if you have felt very nice, then just I am telling to you, you must subscribe my channels and you must share my all video to each another as far as that is possible by you to sharing to each another. You keep on sharing, and again I will visit in my next video. Hold till then. Bye bye. Thank you.